What up, though? Hey, everybody. This is Marisha. So, um, if you've watched the previous video, I've decided to just completely drop the e-file name and everything, or even just being addressed as an epitome. My name is Marisha. Um, I still plan on continuing my series and everything. It's just I have a full-time job and I have so many other things that I have to try to get together in my life. And that even includes getting in better control of my ADHD and my depression, which leads to a lot of like procrastination and just kind of like just not feeling encouraged or influenced to do things. Um, so I'm kind of forcing something right now and just having this time to talk. And hopefully it will make me feel better. Um, my birthday is coming up in a week, and I can definitely tell that a lot of my depression is probably derived from that. I guess just having a lack of relationships, friendships, and just feeling like completely isolated and imprisoned. I I just don't really have much to look forward to. Like I don't. It's either celebrate alone or celebrate with my family that I pretty much am hiding everything from because of the fact that they don't believe in a lot of what I do and they're just not emotionally mature enough to understand where I'm at without trying to just throw the Bible at my face. So it's this is what I'm dealing with. I'm here. Uh, religion is funny. I was watching clips from that 20 Christians versus one spiritualist with Jasmine's Garden. And it made me reflect on my own journey over here and my own feelings of Christianity. So, simply put, I am a daughter of a pastor. So, my father has his church. My mom's the first lady. Of course, that comes along with the role. And my father started his church when I think I was like 12, 13 years old. So I've been someone who has witnessed what it means to be in the congregation and behind the pulpit. And sometimes I find myself afraid to say that I feel like my parents being in the church was one of the worst things that ever happened to my family, especially when it came to just us being like the glue. Like I did feel like my parents sacrificed a lot, and that included our familial unit. A lot of people do not talk about that part and what it means to be a child of a pastor and knowing that you have to share them with people. People don't also talk about what it means to have a parent that is also your religious leader, and the fact that for a lot of them they struggle with what it means to juggle or to have the balance of both and knowing what is the most appropriate when it comes to dealing with you. And I feel like a lot of the drama that I dealt with, or at least that I seen, seeing before I even turned 18, had a lot to do with church. It was the shit that I saw in the church. it's there's a lot of broken people in Christianity. As much as they want to try to act like they got it all together, no, they don't. A lot of them are broken. A lot of them are broken. And then you'll find a few who feel like they're called by God to be the savior of these broken people, when you in fact haven't even saved your broken self yet. That's why I struggle sometimes coming on the camera and being able to do readings and all that stuff, because it's just like, what does it mean for me to read for you guys as if I don't need this same type of counseling, if not more, in my life? It makes absolutely no sense. That's why I rather you see this and what it means to have gone this far in the journey and still have to pick up the pieces in situations and in times that you would have never expected that. And I feel like I witnessed that very early, seeing my parents in the church. Seeing how people can, allow indoctrination to completely like fog out just like critical thinking and reasoning. Christianity to me has always just been something that I felt like I had to choose between. It was like I either be a good Christian or I enjoy all that life has to offer me. I go to church every Sunday, every Tuesday, making sure that I'm a part of the church ministries and do this, or I can dedicate all that to doing my own causes, starting my own initiatives, and not being stifled by religious order in order to do that. I either stick to only listening to gospel music, or I get to enjoy gospel music and everything else I want to be able to fucking listen to. It was just like I was told that I had to be over here. And that's the only way that my life will ever be decent. Like, if I want people to love me, if I want people to give me opportunities, if I want people to have respect for me, if I want all of this, I had to meet the criteria of what it meant to be a good Christian. And if I didn't, then that's what led to my demise in other areas. You aren't married because you're not a good Christian. You can't find a good job because you're not a good Christian. You ain't been paying your tithes and offering. Yeah, you might not have money to pay, but you still owe God that. It doesn't matter if what He's been quote unquote giving you isn't even enough to pay your bills. You still need to give Him that because you owe Him that, because you don't even need to have that. Like that was the mentality. Fuck them other bills. You pay your tithes for it first. Like that's how it goes, right? Even if you're making under $1,000 in a city that has a 10% sales tax, you still hit. And if you're not, that's where you fuck up. I was taught the transactional relationship of Christianity very early. That God will only fuck with me if I had money in my pocket. God will only fuck with me if I had, if I completely cut off any other fucking desire but to be in the fucking church all day. And so I'm not even shocked about how those women were talking to Jasmine. I wasn't even shocked by half the shit that was coming out their fucking mouth, because yeah, that's what a lot of them believe. A lot of Christians do not believe, and that goes, honestly, it goes with a lot of Abrahamic religions, but honestly it also goes over here in Ifa too. There's a lot of people who are religious who believe that their way is the way. Nobody wants to accept their religion as one out of many. And that's the truth. Everybody's practice is one out of many. It's really up to how you choose to utilize it. Every religion is fucking neutral. Every religion, it will allow motherfuckers to get away with some shit. And the debt will be settled through paying it through them, not paying it back to the motherfucker that you had the transgression on. A motherfucker can throw witchcraft at me, but somehow he can pay a debt to his spiritual reach, and that's nothing. I don't get nothing. That's just call it. Sometimes sometimes I felt like EFI work best for motherfuckers that's been in jail. Because if you want to find a way of avoiding accountability, sure, go to EFI. Shit, you might go to Voodoo too. Because that's the work where you can get a lot, girl. Let me stop. But nah, it is a lot of these. Like, the Christians wholeheartedly believe to this day that the Bible is a holy document. That somehow that shit just came out of the fucking sky and is landing at somebody's feet, and somehow miraculously we all just got a hold of it. They don't really truly accept the fact that this is an altered, revised, manipulated, added to, taken from, like this like that document has been ran through so many fucking times where they've had to separate that shit to another goddamn section, another book, in order for people to find out that there's way more books in the Bible than that has been written on. Some people still don't get it. A lot of people still have not recognized that the Bible is basically a historical, if anything, a historical document on the history of the Jews. Or the start of the, what I think is Messianic Jews. The humble beginnings of the Catholic Church. That's what that Bible is. It literally shows you how a civilization was able to conquer and plummet through shit in order for them, due to their apparent holy position of being God's chosen as the children of Israel. Especially if you read that, the amount of towns, the amount of people that David killed for God simply because they were not believers. If you look at history, what religion, really more than two, it's really two of them. What are two main religions that people have used to justify why they feel like they're able to harm other people who do not practice what they do? Actually, three. And they all fall under the Abrahamic religions. Half of the denominations in Christianity came from for political reasons. That's like it tells a story of a people who believe that they have some type of God-given right to go through different lands and shit and assimilate motherfuckers, take over, colonize, wipe out, cleanse. That's an entire Old Testament, which also includes the prophets of God who damn near went bad crazy, like Moses. Moses went bad crazy. That man was writing commandments until he lost his fucking mind. God used him up until that man lost his fucking mind. Or according to the Bible, that's what happened. He did all that work and didn't make it to the promised land. He was given all them commandments to sit down, but nothing stopped. Let me tell you something. That Bible can tell you how God fucked up. Look, you know what? We're going to have a conversation. I feel like by reading that Bible, the Christian God wasn't low key on some fuck shit. The Christian God was low key on some fuck shit. Christian God was definitely on some fuck shit. Yeah, he was definitely on some fuck shit. Like, and we can definitely inch our way over to Jesus, because I definitely have a couple of words to kind of share with that one. But like, when we really discuss, like, if the Bible itself is just simply a historical document, I wholeheartedly believe that it is. I do believe that Jesus is was a prophet of God, just like the other people who were mentioned in the Bible who are prophets of God. The same way Jesus was a son of God, I believe the other ones were too. All of them were like, they were all prophets. Moses was a prophet. The same way God's only begotten son was used, he did the same with Moses. He did the same with him. Right? And so I feel like originally the plan was the commandments. Originally, the plan of like waking up, I guess aligning his people was with the commandments, but that didn't work. The commandments, all that fucked up. Then Jesus came, the prophet, and we even have this, and I can even talk about the immaculate conception. I feel like the immaculate conception was the rare occurrence of an intersex individual. Yes, I believe that Mary was intersex. Yeah, I am telling my inner thoughts right now. I do. And I actually looked this up. I Google searched it to even see if this was like, because they has talked about this phenomenon in like plants, but I wanted to see if this is something that can happen in humans, and find out that if a woman was born, or someone who was born with like both, I guess you could say, like reproductive parts, but like, okay, so say if you have someone who chooses to identify as a woman, right, and they have like a full like vagina, but they have like active sperm cells, or you may have like a testicle there too. There's a rare chance that those sperm cells in that egg can come together and can actually fertilize that egg and bring forth a baby. And not only bring forth a baby, it can bring forth a baby of either gender. So I was thinking, if Mary was intersex, like she may have been female, but she still may have had, like, I guess you consider like active sperm cells, because she, that the immaculate conception, or the fact that she was able to get pregnant, that's what came from that. So like, Mary technically is the daddy. Mary the mama and the daddy. Mary mama or the daddy. Or they're lying about Jesus like coming through that, like, or maybe Jesus is his blood father, or like Joseph is his actual blood father. Because if you go into the New Testament, they literally call out Jesus's fraternal line. So they mark it as if Joseph is his, like, indeed his blood father, which wouldn't make sense, because the whole story is that a whole angel had to come down and tell Joseph that Mary was pregnant with the Son of God, and she did not like cheat on you. So it's two. Either they're not telling the truth about Jesus's birth, or how he was conceived, and he in fact was conceived like everybody else, or Mary was in fact intersex, and she was the one historic account of the intersex conception that she was able to impregnate herself. I think Jesus turning water into wine was him making moonshine. I think Jesus doing necromancy was him like moving the body. Like he was doing spiritual work. He was doing what they do in the Catholic Church with the skull, and they are able to parade it around and people give blessings and speak. I feel like that could have been the ritual that Jesus had performed. And then when he died, and he died in that agony, and he said, God, why is God forsaking me? Yeah, he was legit dying. And I also believe that when his prophets or when his disciples saw him again, I don't think he probably was completely dead. He probably was on his last leg. And then when they saw him go up to heaven, he died. I do believe Jesus is a real prophet, but I do believe that they like romanticized and fantasized and just grossly just kind of like add like some type of drama. You gotta make it drama. You gotta give it up for the people. Like they was really doing in some like scientific shit in there, and it was like, no, that's just the miracle of Jesus, the miracle of God. Honey, child, shoe. That the way they was crossing the Red Sea was probably low tide. Look, you know that look. I'm just saying. And then when Jesus died, all that, of course, if that's this was the case, and then you okay, then let's see what they was gonna do with Jesus' teaching, since y'all couldn't handle the commandments. And look what y'all did with Jesus' teaching, bitch. Y'all done had slavery with it, done colonized continents. Y'all done had wars, rumors of wars, just oppression, racism. Now you got shit called honor killing. It's just, yeah, y'all ain't do right with them shits either. So now what does God have? I feel like at this point, God is like, fuck it. If that's the case, I just feel like at this point, it's like, fucking look. However the fuck you get there, you get there. However you get to me, I'll just be waiting, because I can't. Y'all too fucking much. Now I see why. Like, this is, just saying. Right, like, this is why I fucked up by giving y'all free will. You kind of did, because shit, I know I'm using this motherfucker, because I am not going back over there. Okay? So, God, or what we say over here, Olo Jamare. No, we ain't nobody playing the fucking games. No. So, yeah, like, Christianity, I just feel like it's because it's just so popular and everybody practices shit, and people want to try to make it seem like it's a stand and all that shit. And it's just, I be looking at the people that be saying, like, child, yeah, I'd rather be a heathen. I'd rather be a heathen. I'd rather, like, y'all do not make being Christian look like it's something that I am missing out on. I hate to say it. I will always love gospel music. Always love it. I will always love gospel music. And that's because I also believe in the power of music. And, but yeah, no, not. Now that I've become like so much more, even confident, like, or trying to become more confident, and just in how I stand now, like, while I am officially over here, like I haven't taken off my day and all that shit, like I really do not want to allow religion to rule my life. I don't want any of them to do that. Cause one, my trust level is in shambles when it comes to these. Cause for one, I don't want to live in fear, and I feel like religion has, or at least from my experience of it, it has, like, I feel like forced me to like live in fear because of all of the contradicting and confusing messages that I've got dealing with, like people, doing work or getting readings, all this bullshit in, people wanting, just money, 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 and shit, even recognition for shit they didn't do. And I refuse to believe that this is how I'm supposed to experience something that you all are saying is supposed to change my life. Because right now, I feel like you all have made my life worse. I feel like a lot of religious people have the tendency of making people's lives worse. And they think that they're doing something because they're using the label of their religion or their practice. And it's just like, nah, man. That's not how that shit work. Like, we have to get out of this idea that our religion is what makes us good or bad people, and it's really not. It's, again, it's how you choose to use this religion to, you know, like, to factor in how you, like, see the world. And the honest is that for a lot of these Abrahamic religions, well, not a lot of these, it's only three, but three there are. You have to decide whether or not who you are as a person, as an individual, as you that. Do you even fit within the realm of this? Like I'm gonna be honest. As somebody who is a queer woman, I am queer. As a person who is bisexual, as someone who loves both men and women, Christianity will never agree with me. But there's a lot of people who want Christianity to agree with them, even though within this religion they will not respect you if you do not align with these things. Or they will say that you are out of out of alignment, or you're not all of this. Well, if I'm out of alignment, then I don't need to be over here. If I have to hide and shift and manipulate things to cover up who I really am, that's a problem for me. We're not in alignment. We are out of yoke. We're unyoked. We're not equally yoked. There you go. We're not equally yoked. We're not equally yoked. And that's how I felt about Christianity. That's why I was. Even when I started to be in even like the spaces that I am with E5, like the moment, or in Lukumi Santeria, even dealing with NC Shay Shay. I'm not a performative girl. I'm not going to hide my experiences. I'm not going to act as if I don't deal with trauma. I'm not going to lower my expectation because you motherfuckers want to promote yourselves as people who are equipped, but you really aren't. I didn't put it in your head that your 16, 18-year-old ass had the ability to make people your godchildren. I feel like that's dumb as fuck, but that's just, you know. And I just like, I expect more from things that people, from organizations, from groups, from spiritual practice or whatever, that people are claiming is supposed to change my life. And when I see things get worse, or I'm doing all of these things and like I'm barely able to, because it's being compounded by bullshit that I have to, like, yeah, no, it is time, it's time. Racism, fat phobia, anti-black American, all this shit, all of it. I say shit, fucking have it. I don't give a fuck. Ain't no none of you motherfuckers gotta touch my head, because half you motherfuckers don't even know how to do this shit right anyway. Okay, I've heard the stories. Not a lot of motherfuckers in Florida who really know how to crown a motherfucker. Sorry to let y'all know. It's not. Mm-mm. So that's how I feel. I don't subscribe heavy to any of these religions anymore. And it's taken me a while to actually say that. To say that I've lost my faith. I've lost my faith. Or did I lose it? Or did I put it on the shelf somewhere? No, I left it. That's what I did. I didn't lose it. I left that bitch right where it's at. I left that in that fucking mess. I will not have faith in bullshit. I will not have faith in bullshit. I've proven myself that I was worthy of a safe space. And at this point, I don't know what more is there to prove. I want to believe that I'm loved. I want to believe that my ancestors love me, and that the Orisha love me, and God loves me, and everything. But I can't touch him. I can't see him. I can only just feel and hear him. Yeah, sleepy. Yeah, I've been up since 5 a.m. So yes, it's definitely been a long day. Okay, I think I'm turned down, so I'm probably even reached the end of my little rant and what I needed to talk about. And yeah, it made me feel better. It did make me feel a little better. But yeah, man, if you made it to this end of the video, just always choose yourself. As cliche as it is, sometimes choosing yourself is a matter of life and death. It really is. And, unfortunately, you might be the only person in the room who really wants to see you alive and thriving. So, if you love you know what to do. You know what to do. So, before this weekend is up, but tomorrow's Sunday, right? I got this short list. I have to push out this video. I got to, cause I gotta see it to the end, cause I have a short list. But I can't just quickly get discouraged or feel like nobody's gonna watch it, cause at the end of the day, it's about putting in the groundwork. It's about trying to build consistency. So I can't get discouraged if I don't get comments and stuff, whatever. Um, but yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out. Oh, and like, share, subscribe. All that cute stuff. Do that, please. Thank you.